Ahoy, my friends, Ryder here, and welcome back to another Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis video. Today, I will be showing you guys my final Ramuh EX2 clear. This summon took me the longest time, I think, since the game has come out to clear, though I would say it didn't take me the most tries. I still think Bahamut took the most tries. I kind of languished in this one or lavished in it just because it was kind of nice to have content readily available in the game and not have it constantly always cleared out. That being said, it was still a really hard fight for me. I did end up clearing it with Cloud, which was definitely fun. I had a lot of help from different players. So thank you guys out there, everyone out there. Janelle helped me out a lot, actually near the beginning, but I just needed to kind of wait for a couple things to finally fall into place. And then at that point in time, I essentially, just had to execute the battle flawlessly. You guys will see in my video that I literally beat Ramuh. Like, my last hit with Cloud is the last hit that I would have had in the fight. So it goes down to the freaking wire. That being said, I'm just going to show you guys my party really quick, and then I will be doing a voiceover for the fight itself. So for those of you guys out there that are still stuck on it, that might be using Cloud over Glenn, hopefully this video will give you guys some insight as to some of the tricks that I found and needed to utilize in order to actually take it down. Alright, so that being said, let's jump over here, Ramuh EX2 fight, and let's go to my team. My team is right here. So this team has a power level of 400,000. It says here that the recommended is 300,000, but I would love to see a team beat this fight with less than 300,000 power. I feel like these power required things are sometimes on point and other times just so far away from what they should be. So I kind of wonder at the point of them sometimes. But yeah, let's take a look at the actual team going into the fight. So I was running Cloud, Aerith, and Red 13. Cloud as my dedicated water DPS, Aerith as my dedicated buffer / healer, and Red 13 as a Imperiler, magic attack breaker, and off healer. So with Cloud, I am running the Maritime Mastery costume, Leviathan at level 10. I did have a beta where I was imperiling the Sparks and I could kill them, but there were so many things happening that just even one tiny microscopic error and everything would fall apart. So I decided to wait until Leviathan came back in co-op, finished my tidal wave, and it made the whole fight a lot more enjoyable. So I have Maritime Sword here, OB10, along with the Glavinus here at OB6. As for the materias across the board, and this is something that I was kind of tweaking all the way to the end, right? I have a Circle Sigil on Cloud since he is my main Circle Sigil breaker. I have Aerith running X. She's the only one taking care of X. I have an X on Cloud here, but that's just a stat stick. It's not for actual breaking. And then on Red 13, one of the last changes I made was giving him a Circle Materia. And that's because this allows me to do an extra hit with Cloud in the second and third Sigil phase later on in the fight, which ultimately gave me enough DPS in order to beat it in the long run. So the problem with putting this Circle Sigil break on Red 13 is that unless you're controlling him, he will use Circle Sigil over Diamond Sigil break every single time, which is super, super unfortunate. So you'll see in my playthrough that I have to play Red in order to do all the Diamond Sigil breaks, and only then can I leave him alone to do the Circle Sigil breaks. But other than the sigils here, right? So we have Circle on Cloud, X on Aerith, and Circle on Red 13, and of course Diamond on the Silver Collar. Every other materia is a stat stick here, right? So I have, and honestly, Cloud was very close to, like, he was on the line with surviving this fight. So let's actually just jump into his kit right here, and I'm going to show you guys how it is. So Cloud here is sitting at 16,000 HP. It's a lot of HP. The problem is that Ramuh will always target the character with the highest current HP for his Thunder Lances, and there's 2 of them in the fight, right? So, sometimes you can get away with Cloud being low HP and then wait for him to target someone else. But in the second Thunder Lance, it's very hard to not go into that at max HP. And so Cloud oftentimes gets targeted, right? And I found that I can survive it right? As long as Cloud is at full HP and at least 160 magic defense. So in order for that to happen, I had to get my umbrella up to OB7 so that I was only having to equip one magic defense all item on the team. And that essentially pushed Cloud into the threshold of survivability there, right? So other than that, it is a tricky fight. It's super tricky because Cloud kind of just like skyrockets in HP depending on his builds, whereas Glenn's build typically puts him lower in HP, but he can stack more magic defense. So I will show you guys my materias here. This was my first one focusing magic defense and HP. My second one focusing physical attack, but also HP and a little magic defense. And then my third one here focusing HP, physical attack, and then magic defense as well. So really a lot of magic defense on Cloud. If we take a look at his overall stats, he has 205,000 power, 16k HP, 5.9k physical attack, and this was with making tweaks all the way down to the very end to try and just get the maximum amount of DPS that I could get out of him, right? I saw people clearing with Cloud, but a lot of them had 6.4, 6.5k physical attack, and I just wasn't able to hit that. So the fight had to be absolutely perfect. For the R abilities here, we've got HP at 7, physical attack at 7, water potency at 8. We got the water mastery and then the physical ability potency right on the button at 35. All right. For the all attack, all allies buffs, we have physical attack 3, and magic defense 3. And then for his sub weapons, we have guide gloves at OB7. I have the Glenn axe here at OB6. I know you guys are saying it can be done with OB6. I don't have Slay the Day, and I wanted to beat it with Cloud, so it is what it is. I ended up taking a little bit longer. I could have dropped a weapon voucher on Slay the Day. I didn't want to do it. So other than that, my last one is personal style here, HP and water potency as well. All right, now let's jump over to Aerith here. Aerith is sitting at 100k power, 13k HP. She's got 151 magic defense and 3.1k healing. Her R abilities are HP at 6, healing at 7. We've got lightning resist at 3, buff debuff extension at 5. We've got the buff debuff extension plus, right? So honestly, pretty solid in her buff duration there, which really makes her pretty clutch throughout the fight. For her materias right here, we have Ruinra. This is the first one. I have a Cura here for the single target cure in the Thunderlance aspect of the fight. You guys will see it's pretty important. This one focusing magic defense and some healing. And then the last one is Breach right here. This one for magic defense, but honestly, the Breach kind of saves the day at the end of the fight. At the very end of the fight, it's super helpful so that Cloud doesn't have to use Glavenus. All right. Now, for the limit break, we have Breath of the Earth. Super important for this fight. If you guys don't know that, it is super, super important. And for the sub weapons, I have the Stream Saber OB9, Centipede OB10, and we have the Leviathan Buster here as well at OB10. Jumping into Red 13, he's sitting at 86k power, 12k HP. His physical attack is primary, but he's not doing really any damage. He's officially purely a Imperiler / breaker for me / off healer. 171 magic defense, 2.6k healing. We've got HP at 4, healing at 6, lightning resist at 6, so he's super tanky to Ramuh, which is really important for the very opening Judgment Bolt. That right after that first Judgment Bolt at the beginning of the fight, when Aerith does one Kiraga, it takes him above 50% HP so that his Imperils start working. Super, super important. There's a lot of different niche aspects of this fight. It is a great fight, not gonna lie. Buff debuff extension almost at level 3. We have it at level 2. All right, and checking out his setup over here, we have the Hellhound costume, Silver Collar at OB2. We've got the Junk Collar here at OB6, which I think is a must-have. Silver Collar you can do with base 5-star. Stardust Ray, super important. This is what gives Red 13 the edge over Barret in this fight, is literally Stardust Ray. All right, and as for his materia, we have a D-Brave here. This is basically just for the high magic defense. We have a Ruinra Blow with also great magic defense, but he is a backup Circle Sigil Breaker later on. And then we have the Cure All here with high HP, some healing, etc., etc. His sub-weapons are going to include Nameless at OB10, Umbrella at OB7, Prime Number at OB8. All right, so that is going to basically conclude my setup for this fight. As you guys will see, it is extremely close, so I'm really cutting the line, but it was a really fun fight. And that being said, let's get into the voiceover. Alright guys, here we are going into the Ramuh EX2 fight. I'm going to be voiceovering it. So at the beginning of this fight, essentially my strategy was to wait till 5 ATB with Aerith, drop Spiritual Harmony, switch to red, 1 Imperil. Alright, Cloud I'm going to wait till a little bit at the end here, drop 1 Fierce Slash. Red is going to follow with 2 Magic Attack breaks. In Cloud, you want to wait for the attack stance to get full, just to get maximum damage. Then switch back over to Aerith. I'm watching Red for his next attack. Alright, we're going to do 1 Frenzy Fang, jump back to Cloud, 1 last C-Splitter, and then switch to Aerith for the Curaga. And that is my opening right there for the Judgment Bolt. Alright, so we'll tank this Judgment Bolt right here. I think I'll turn down the volume just a bit. Alright, there we go. Alright, at that point, I'm going to Curaga, jump over to red. I'm going to wait for the actual attack stance to pulse like that, or else his first one will only do 2 instead of 3 on the diamond stance, which really actually helps, especially when you're trying to use him to do circle sigils later on. Cloud is going to get off 1 C-Splitter during this sigil stance, and then in the second sigil phases, he's going to get off 2. Alright? So I'm going to stay on red until I utilize all the diamond sigils because his AI will not prioritize them over circle. And then I'm going to jump over to Aerith. I'm going to get off 2 Curagas here. The first one I'm not going to go into the defensive stance for. Alright? You don't want to go into the defensive stance. Alright? Once it breaks, then you can go to the defensive stance for the second Curaga. Alright? I'm going to get the Spiritual Harmony right here, switch to Cloud. Now, it's important that you get back over to Cloud right here before you do the Stardust Ray. Alright, so we're going to interrupt his charged current with the Stardust Ray and the Tidal Wave. You know, the boss has to be fully imperiled. You want to have physical attack up high. You basically have to have physical attack up high in order for the Tidal Wave to actually kill the Sparks. Alright, now the moment this Tidal Wave goes off, I'm going to get 1 more attack in with Cloud before switching to Aerith here. This is super important because you can get a lot of extra damage right there. I'll get a Frenzied Fang as well. Wait for the charge current. Block. Hold the block through the second one right here. Alright, then straight into Breath of the Earth. Alright, that's going to counter the magic defense down. From there, straight into Spiritual Harmony. Alright, and then we're just going to go straight back into breaking, imperiling, and as much damage as possible with Cloud. I'm going to try and block some of these AoE hits with Aerith and then also Curaga. He's going to be single target focusing Cloud right here. Alright, I think I actually leave Cloud lower so that he doesn't target Cloud with the first Thunder Lance right here. Alright, so I'm waiting. I'm not healing him because he will choose the character with the highest current HP for this first Thunder Lance right here. Alright, so once he chooses, then I'm going to fully break him right there on the magic attack break. I'm going to heal Cloud to full. Alright, and we're basically just going to wait out this first Thunder Lance. The first one does less damage than the second one. So you'll see that Cloud survives with a decent amount of HP, or actually he's targeting Aerith right now. He targets Cloud on the second one. You'll see how close it actually gets. Alright, so Aerith is going to tank that one right there. I'm going to drop a Cura with Red 13. Alright, switch the stance so that it's not going down. Alright, and then just basically going for damage right here. Aerith is going to Spiritual Harmony. Probably should have waited right there as the magic defense doesn't kick in unless she's above half health. But I think I did it for the attack right there. So right here on Cloud, as long as he's fully imperiled, I'm going to get off 2 C-Splitters. Alright, Red 13 is just going to focus Diamond Sigil Break, as I was saying before. Alright, Aerith is taking care of X. The goal is to get through Red 13s right as Aerith gets through the X sigils. Alright, as soon as that happens, we're just going to be... This Sigil Break was so freaking close right here. I actually thought that I was done for right here. I can't remember if it was... Yeah, it's this one right here. It was so close. I thought for sure that it was over right there. Alright, so we took that one down. There is the Glavenus hit for the physical defense break. Going back into Spiritual Harmony right here. Alright, here we go. Now it looks like I'm about to interrupt this with our second Stardust Ray / Tidal Wave right here. Alright, and then after this we're going to go into 2 more charged currents and then the second Thunder Lance. All right, so there it is right there. If you can get off a magic attack break right after this with Red 13, you'll take a lot less damage from the charged currents, which can be really helpful. But definitely get off a C splitter with Cloud. So I switched. See, I waited right there. I missed Red 13. All right, so we're going to block both charged currents, counter with Breath of the Earth. This was such a crazy close fight. You guys will see at the end. All right, immediately Spiritual Harmony. Cloud is just going to keep on doing as much damage as possible. The boss goes straight into Thunderlance. All right, we're going to Frenzied Fang, take the magic attack break. All right, and I'm just going to wait here with Aerith. Best to have Aerith at absolute max ATB right here, because after this is going to be followed by 2 Judgment Bolts in a row. All right, so there's the Thunderlance. You see Cloud literally barely survives. Max buff, max magic attack break, and he still barely makes it. The reason you want to have the ATB full right there is because he immediately counters with these single target hits on Cloud, and you want to basically heal him through those, right, while blocking them if possible. All right, so at this point right here, he's going into his next Judgment, or his first Judgment Bolt. All right, so just make sure he has the magic attack break. We're going to heal Cloud to full right here. All right, and our magic defense buff is strong as well. All right, we're going to switch back over to Aerith. All right, so everything looking good. It is close. All right, so here we go. First Judgment Bolt. The next one has a little bit more of a time period before it starts to cast. All right, and you'll see that I'm kind of gunning to get my Stardust Ray and my Leviathan back up to take out the Sparks. All right, so let's see here. So I'm going to Curaga everyone back to full. Cloud is going to go for the Fierce Charge Slash, but essentially just trying to get my limit breaks up here as quickly as I can. All right, so it looks like one more hit with Cloud. And then the moment that I get those limit breaks, all right, we're going to Spiritual Harmony with Aerith right there. I kind of waited a little bit to do it so that the magic defense lasts the entire time this is charging. All right, so as soon as my limit breaks pop, we're going to use Stardust Ray to break his magic attack to neutral. All right, take out the Sparks as well, okay, as you guys will see. And then super important to not forget to do your magic attack break with Red 13 right here. All right, so we're going to use Fierce Charge Slash to take down the physical defense. All right, as you guys can see, I got really close to forgetting with Red 13, the Frenzied Fang. And right here at the end, he barely gets it off, all right, which is basically equals my survival on this second Judgment Bolt. All right, so here comes Ramuh right here. All right, so after this, he's going to go into his third Sigil Break, but right now should be the run to the end, all right? If you get to this point, you can definitely win the fight, granted you have enough DPS. All right? So I did play it safe with the Sigils right here. I only did one C-Splitter with Cloud. I didn't want to mess up after getting through both Judgment Bolts, which I failed on those quite a few times. All right? So like I said, with Red 13, sticking on him until he does all of his diamond breaks. All right, just to make sure he's not doing any circles right there. So the attack stance gauge wasn't full at the beginning, so his first one only did 2 instead of 3, which is why we have 4 right now, or 1 right now instead of none. All right, there we go. Aerith broke it with X. All right, getting everyone fully healed up. And we're pretty much good to go right here. We're going to have 2 more charged currents. All right, here we go. There's the first one. We're going to block it. All right, hang tight. Block the second one right here. Counter with Breath of the Earth. And now it's a full-blown DPS check to the end of the fight. All right, so he's not in the red right now. You guys see how freaking close that this fight was right here. But it was a really good one. All right, so dropping Spiritual Harmony. At this point, oh yeah, he has one more Levin's arrows, I think, until the end right there. Maybe 2. 11 arrows followed by 2 single target attacks on 1 character, I think. All right, but at this point, like, that's not going to take you out, or hopefully it's not going to take you out. All right, but for me, at this part of the fight, I'm fully just focusing DPS, imperiling, breaches, everything I can to get through that last part of the bar. He's going to start casting, he's going to start raising his lightning bar up. So in order to buy time, I'm basically trying to keep that down, because the moment it gets full, he's going to cast Proclamation, his final Judgment Bolt, right? So Right there, I waited till he was about to cast it. I interrupted it. I used Stardust Ray and Leviathan right here, which will give us a big chunk of health, right? And also basically put his lightning bar back down at 0. So essentially, I'm just trying to keep that bar as low as possible for as long as possible so I can get the maximum amount of DPS right here. All right, here we go. Aerith is using Breach. Like I said, it comes in clutch because she's keeping that mid-tier debuff up right now by casting Breach and resetting it. Now, it doesn't last very long, but it's definitely giving Cloud more of an edge for his damage by having that physical defense break. And this is one of those times where you don't want him using Fierce Charge Slash. You want him using C-Splitter every single time. So like I said, Aerith's Breach materia right here was super, super, super helpful for getting that extra damage. All right, so there's Cloud. We're one hit away. We're in the last half of the charge bar for Judgment Bolt right there. All right, and here we go. With a quarter of it left, Cloud does the finishing blow. So yeah, that was my Ramuh EX2 clear. This fight took a good amount of work. It was definitely by no means easy, but it was definitely a lot of fun. And I kind of like the fact that it took me a little bit longer, you know. But anyway, I wouldn't really say that this is a guide, but I'd say that this is more like a clear video / guide for those of you that might just be running a similar setup as me with Cloud, Red, and Aerith. But that being said, if you guys enjoyed it today, if you thought this was entertaining, or if you thought the fight was fun, please don't forget to drop a like, subscribe to the channel for more Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis content. I will catch you guys in the next one. Hope you all have a wonderful night. Take care, and peace.